fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya. And well, quite a bit of things have happened. During the forest training camp, it was attacked. The League of Villains Deku has discovered they are working with this man named All For One, who sometime in the past used to work as a mafia, or work in a mafia family. Now, Deku was quite surprised by this information. The fact that the League of Villains is working or is part of the mafia is something strange to him. It means that the enemies they're facing is also a rival familia. So, taking them down is just the icing on top of getting revenge on Shigaraki. Now, with that being said, 3 members of Class 1A were kidnapped. Ida, Mina, and if I remember correctly, Ibarra. Now, Deku, yeah. While he is currently dealing with that situation, there's something going on at his house. The package that was supposed to be from Vanguard 9, it killed Midoriya in an explosion. And that happened minutes before the forest training camp was attacked. Now, with that being said, we actually do have Izuku Midoriya, who he's currently, at least on his way to a hospital. The doctors, they do want to examine his body to make sure he's not too injured, since many of the students, they did actually suffer from cuts and scrapes and bruises, and even some stab wounds. Now, whenever doctors did examine Izuku Midoriya, they were quite surprised to find damage already to part of his body. However, Deku, he did explain it. Whenever he was training, he cut himself on something. And, well, it was bleeding quite a bit, and he didn't really know what to do. So he did use his quirk to seal the wound. Now, many people were quite confused by this. The wound looks to be fresh or new. Scar tissue is, well, hardly covering it. And it does appear that it still might be healing. Now, Deku didn't really want to push that any further, as he did ask doctors information about his back, to which they kind of did just inform him. The villain he faced off against did slam him hard into the ground, and the fact that he's only suffering from these back issues along with a minor concussion is very impressive. Now, Deku, yeah, he was given at least some things to help him. Along with that, he was told to take it easy for a while. Now, Deku, he was going to do this, as he's currently going to leave the hospital. Now, Deku and his family, they also did get checked out. Many of them, they do at least have bandages. Well, Kendo, yeah. She does at least have what appears to be something covering one of her hands, since whenever she was stabbed, it may have hit a piece of bone. Now, this is where Deku, he is talking with all of them, and he's going over many things. The familia that attacked them is part of the League of Villains, and this just means that Shigaraki is involved with the Mafia as well. This rival family, they need to take down. Along with that, taking down the villains is just another coincidence that adds up with them. Now, as that's being said, we actually do have where police officers, they all do come walking up to Deku and his familia. Deku turning his head and seeing that, as that's quite a large number of officers. And he does just think, why are they heading this way? Something's not right here. Now, an officer does stand in front of Izuku Midoriya, as he does go to take his hat off and ask if he is saying his name. Yes. What is it? Young man, we have some unfortunate news for you. Now, Deku is trying to think. The mannerisms, the way he's looking at him. Uh, I'm sorry. Could we make this quick? I mean, well, I do need to call my mom and make sure let her know I'm okay. Now, Deku does watch as the man's eyes they do go from looking at him to shifting away. Uh, young man, I'm not really too sure how to tell you this, but she won't be able to answer that phone call. Hmm? Well, I'm sorry. Young man, earlier tonight, your apartment building, we don't understand what happened. There must have been a gas leak, but your mother, she died. Now, Deku just stand there frozen. What? As Deku's familiar, they all do at least hear that news. Inkomadoria died? Now, Deku, yeah. His face expression, it does just go from, okay, I'm listening, to he's just, well, not even paying attention anymore. Those words in his head, he's trying to grasp their meaning. Dead. Mom? No. She's still alive at home. Now, the man is staring at Deku. He was trying to explain the situation more. There is an open investigation, and foul play is suspected. Now, he was trying to say that. However, yeah. He noticed that the boy wasn't even paying attention anymore, so he stopped talking. As he did go to at least bring his hand up and try to get Deku's attention. Young man? Uh, sorry. I'm. I'm. Um. I just. I. I understand if it's a lot to process for you, young man. But. Well, we'll try to catch whoever did this. Now, Deku does hear those words. Who did this? As it does start to click in his head. The rival familia. Now, Deku does get angry. As the man does watch Deku's expression. Now, the man he does tell the boy that he has to go. They need to at least solve what's happening right now with the villains. Now, the man he would go to leave. And Deku's familia, they all do at least see how he's looking. Or at least how he's standing and acting. Now, with that, we actually do have Reborn. Who? Yeah. He does come walking into the hospital. And he does come to walk up towards Izuku. As Deku's familiar, they're at least all trying to comfort him and make him feel better. Trying to keep him calm. And there actually is one of her Reborn he does ask if Midoriya can talk for a minute. Deku turning and seeing the man. As he does actually start walking his way. Now, Reborn he does actually go to jump up and try to greet Midoriya by jumping on his shoulder. However, Deku just does bring up his hand and punch Reborn right in the face. As Reborn does go flying backwards and smash on a wall. As Bakugo and Todoroki do come running up to grab him by his arms. As Deku just starts screaming at Reborn. Where the fuck has he been? Why wasn't he at home with Inko? Now, Reborn he does just stare up at Midoriya. As Midoriya he does talk about how he could have dodged that blow. Where the fuck was he? Now, Reborn, yeah. He's already been filled in the situation. And he's sorry, but he was busy with other matters. Now, Deku, he's trying to talk to Reborn, screaming at him as people do watch him in the hospital. Deku is crying his eyes out, or crying intensely, while at the same time screaming his lungs out at this tiny man. Now, this is where Reborn, he does actually go to bring his hand up and inform Izuku that he's very sorry. He was unaware of what happened. Unaware? It's your fucking fault! Now, Reborn does stare at Midoriya. The expression, the anger, and the rage. This boy, 1 year ago, would never even have the courage to strike him the way he just did. He's proud of that right hook. And he does actually feel somewhat bad. If he had paid attention just a little bit more, maybe he could have stopped it. However, he was busy trying to meet with Vingola 9. Now, this is where they actually come walking up. And they do ask if this is 10 or Decimo. Now, Deku does turn his head up to look at the man, who's surrounded by bodyguards, as Deku does just look at the man, asking who the fuck is he? Decimo. That is not the proper way to speak to 9. Now, Deku does just stare at the man. 9? Now, you actually do have Reborn, who does inform Deku that this is Vengola 9. And right now, they do need to speak urgently. Now then, with that, Deku and 9, yeah. 9 does pull Deku outside, and everybody else there are quite surprised. If they're correct, doesn't that guy stay in Italy? Or isn't he supposed to be in Italy? And Reborn wouldn't fill them in on the situation. With the way things are currently going, they need to at least do a few things. And right now, 9 does believe that it's the perfect time to do something for Deku. Now, Deku and Vengola 9, they do both walk outside. As 9, he's informing Deku about exactly what's been happening the last few months. Now, Deku and 9, they actually do walk over to an area where they can speak in private. And 9, he does look around for a minute, before he does turn down to Vengola 10, asking him if he is alright. No, I'm not. I just learned my fucking mom died. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I've lost friends. That I can handle. That's manageable. This is not. My home, I just learned it went up in flames with my mom. And I don't even know if my dad knows yet. I don't even know how he'll react. I haven't seen that man in fucking years. I see. Well, Izuku, that is not originally the reason why I was here. However, well, I will help you. I'll be here for you, to look after you. I can use some of my resources to pull strings for you to stay in place. Huh? Yes. However, I came here because of your power. My power? Yes. I'm quite impressed with you. Many people like you, they find it difficult to control the flame. In fact, you're making a lot more progress than whenever I've last seen you. Last seen me? I've never met you before in my life. Oh, I see. That's untrue. You have. What? Yes. You see, well, I've known you ever since you were a little boy. I'm sorry, what? Yes. I've visited your mother and your father on occasion. Just before your father started to help out with more pressing matters. What? Young man, you should be aware. You've had your power since you were a child. Hang on. Backtrack with me real quick. You know my mother and father. Yes. So, when you said my father had to deal with more pressing matters, are you talking about the mafia? Young man, I. I am? You do know that. Now, Deku would just bring up his hand, as he just grabbed Angola 9 by his tie, asking to explain. Young man, I would kindly ask you to let go. No, you need to let me know what's going on right now. I don't give a shit who you are. You are going to explain this all to me. Now, 9, he's looking down at 10. 10 is full of rage, and he can see that. However, at the same time, it's also refreshing to see. Whenever he was this boy's age and he started learning about this stuff, he could hardly stomach the idea of what he's currently doing. However, this boy, he seems to be taking to it. The boy was quirkless and given power, and that power has changed him. Along with it, so has Reborn. Now, Vengola now would just bring his hands up, grabbing Deku by his wrist and pulling him away from his tie, explaining that Deku's father does work with the Mafia family, and that he is the descendant of Vengola 1. Now, Deku's taken aback, as Knight is continuing on with the explanation. As a young boy, Deku's power, Sky Flames, they were quite hard for his body to control, so he sealed the power away. He's seen the boy's progress. Along with that, he's even heard from Reborn that he has gone far beyond expectations. What are you talking about? Reborn, he's informed me of many things. I've kept an eye on you. After tonight, I believe that I should release that power. What? Yes, I came here tonight to inform you about a situation change. Right now in the underworld, a familia, they're making moves. And we believe that you should take them down. Okay. I understand that, but this is too much tonight. Now, Deku is going to turn around and go to walk back towards the hospital as Van Gogh and 9 does call for Deku. Deku turning around, telling him that they'll speak more tomorrow because he's gone through too much shit. And he doesn't want to hear another word from him right now. Now, Deku does turn back around and walk back inside. As 9, he did see Deku. He understands. It's all quite too much. Now, Deku's trying to wrap his mind around everything. His father works with the fucking Mafia. His mother, she knew about his power, but she kept it a secret from him. He's stronger than he should be? This makes no sense. He has power locked away. If that's true, then why couldn't he... It clicking in Deku's head for a minute. Wait a minute. Now, Deku can finally understand. The pills. That's what they're used for. There's something to, unlock his power temporarily. Isn't that it? It has to be. That's why even Denki can use a flame, but he can't. Deku's hidden behind a wall while Denki he's out in the open. So is everyone else in his familia. Now, Deku's trying to think. Okay. That just answered way too many questions. And everything starts to make sense. Why his mom kept turning a blind eye to Reborn. The fact that he's talked openly about certain things in front of her and she doesn't care. And the fact that he was chosen. He isn't some special guy. He isn't somebody who they're all powerful and yeah, he could do this because he has this flame. He is doing this because not only does he have the flame, but he's the descendant of the man who started the Mafia family. Now, Deku, yeah. He's just trying to figure it all out. As you do actually have our Reborn, he does get to hand Deku a few things. Now, whenever Reborn did walk up to Deku, he did hand him an envelope. And Deku, he did go to open it to find a few little pieces of information. Or his belongings, if you want to call it that. You have Deku's key, which, yeah, it does show that it is slightly scorched from the flames. There's a picture of him and his family. And then there is even a few other little things. Now, Reborn, yeah. He did see the expression on Deku's face, as he does look up to him and say something. The bike is right outside. Deku turning towards him. As Reborn does turn around talking about how it's on a U-Haul. 9 brought it here for him. Now, Deku just does go to turn around and walk away, as Deku's familia, they all do see that. Now, as Reborn is going to walk away, he'd actually walk up towards Kendo, informing her to follow him. Mr. Reborn, go with him. Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Right now he needs somebody. And I'm aware of you two. Now, she just stared at Reborn. She does want to say something, but for right now she really can't. Her going to run up and catch up to Deku. As 9 did see Deku walk outside. And he did then watch as, Deku went past the gate and then somebody came running out after him. He's assuming that that's one of Deku's guardians. And then there is Deku, where he does look around and see a black car with black tinted windows. And in front of that is a U-Haul. Or at least, a giant, large truck that does have Deku's bike on the back of it. Or a large flatbed truck, There's the name of it. Now, Deku does walk up and look at the vehicle, as he does look down to see the straps covering his bike. Now, Deku does go to bring up his hands and start to undo the straps, as he does jump on top and go to pull them out of his tires. Now, after that does happen, you do actually have Kendo, who just watches Deku does do that, and he does go to stand on top of the, stand next to the bike, go to turn it on. And then he does go to put it down in neutral, it's just to push the bike off. Now, Kendo does watch Deku do that, as Deku, he does somewhat carefully take the bike and go to put it down onto the sidewalk. And there is the man who he does actually come walking up, talking about how he can't do that, since he's not the Deku holding up the key, as he's going to turn it on and then start the bike. The man still trying to talk to Deku, as Kendo should just watch him go to get on. Now, he does come walking up, trying to inform him that he still can't just take the bike. He's under strict orders of, if you save Angola 9, we're gonna have a problem. Kid, you don't understand. That bike belongs to, I'm well aware of who it belongs to, because it's my fucking bike. Now, the man does back up and at least look at Deku. Deku bring up his hand and showing off the ring. As you do actually have Kendo, who does get on the back of the bike. Deku turning to see her as she just not say a word. And Deku, he does just go to drive away. Now, the guy was quite surprised. From what he heard, Vangola 10 was a kind young man. And he is capable of being that way, but only when his push comes to shove. So, a lot of shit must have gone down. Now, we do actually have Deku, who he's moving through traffic. And he's going very fast. Now, Deku, yeah. This is quite a surprise. Deku's just moving and moving and moving. And it doesn't seem like he's going to slow down anytime soon. Now, we do actually have where the Manny would inform Angola 9 about what happened, as it's not really that much of a surprise to him. He knew that all this information would possibly be too much. He thought 10 could handle it. However, yeah. After the other events of tonight, he believes that the boy deserves to take a minute to himself. He has a tracker on that bike, along with inside that key. That's what that piece on the chain is for. However, for right now, they'll just leave him alone. They can pick him up anytime they do want. Now, Deku, yeah. He does just drive and drive and drive. And try to think, as I believe that is a good point to leave this part off of. and I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.